One other thing to think about with the player and the coach that was a learning was play the way you are within your personality. You see a bunch of different players out there. There's players of all different styles. There's the very aggressive players. They are in your face and very aggressive and pumped up. And then there's like the Cali guys who are all relaxed. They look like they couldn't care less if they win or lose. They just play it so cool. Some of them. There's two extremes. There's the guys who just play relaxed and smooth, and there's the aggressive, grunting and groaning and stroking hard and smashing the ball as hard as they can kind of style players. But those to me, that's just their personality. So for me, I recommend that you play within whatever your personality is, that allows you to play at your best. So there's a limit here. There's a thing called the bell curve of performance, where essentially in each of us, this point of optimal performance is different based on wherever that is for you, based on what your natural personality and your natural habits. A bell curve of performance is like, as intensity increases, your performance will increase, but then as intensity continues to increase, the performance will actually degrade. If you get too angry, too mad, too trying so hard, your performance degrades. So that's like a bell curve. So it's kind of shaped like a bell. Like you follow my finger there, it's like a bell. So anxiety. It's intensity this way, and then performance this way. So as you get more intense, yes, your performance increases, but then there's a time which that extra level of intensity, extra trying hard, your performance decreases. So it's about finding where you are in that bell. Where's your bell? Do you need to be more intense or less intense? And that's just about finding who it is. And I found once I played within my personality, I'm pretty stoic, I'm pretty quiet, but I needed a little touch of aggression. I needed to fabricate a little touch of something to get me to play my best, so I could play confidently, so I could play competitively, to get me out of my normal, just easygoing. I'm very easygoing, very quiet and calm, but that's not very competitive. So I needed to have a little extra. So Tony Spreedeman said something once that made a lot of sense, where he has to fabricate a little hate. So he has to like be a little bit mad at that person across the table, to want to smash them, is the way I would take that word. Where me, I just needed to get a little bit of a snarl going, a little bit of a nose, a little bit of a like, I'm gonna like just allow me to get that little bit of increased intensity that allow me to compete at my most confident best, to shut out the doubts. But not play just cool and calm, like I don't care, because then the ball's flying around, and if I'm cool and calm, well, they're gonna probably win it. So that's another thing, is about playing within your personality. Find it what it is. Experiment with that one. I needed to experiment. I tried playing aggressively and mad and aggressive, because I seen the best players who were like that, like a Tommy Atkinson, like Johnny Horton, very aggressive, yelling and screaming, hopping up and down. But then there was players that were totally cool, like Todd Lafredo. He's just Mr. Cool. That's why they call him the Fonz. He's just, or Duke, whatever they call him. He plays cool. So that's their personality. Totally different, but their personality. So I encourage you to definitely find your own. You're going to play players that are stronger than you. You're going to play players that are the same level as you, or at least you think they are, and you're going to play players that are weaker than you throughout your playing career. Most of us have no problem playing the players that are better than us, because that's just an opportunity. If you have a growth mindset, that is such an excellent opportunity to get shown what it is I need to work on. So that's when you're playing that better player, like your thought, if you can get the worry about win or loss out of your head, and go into that match with, oh, this guy's going to show me what I need to work on so quickly, and I'm going to thank him for it, essentially. Because like I've always said and thought and have seen, that the ass kickings are the ones where you learn the quickest. Because if you play a pro master, and they will be able to find your weakness so quickly, and they will be able to abuse you for it so often and so early and so obviously, that it'll become apparent what it is you need to work on. And so that is like a gift, because you should be, with that growth mindset, you should be constantly searching for what are my weaknesses, what are my tells, somebody please tell me so I can work on it, get it better, so it's no longer part of my game, I can improve on it. So those masters and those matches will show you so quickly what it is that you need to work on. So those ass kickings will show you, and that's just an excellent opportunity for learning. So you can go into that match with a total positive mindset. I'm going to learn something from this, but I could still win. There's like, it's like a win-win. If you lose, you're going to learn. If you happen to win, well, then you happen to get this great upset, this great win, and you might have still learned something too. It's like, damn, that guy, whenever he got the ball, he went pull side on me. I guess I got to work on that defense, kind of thing. So that's how to play stronger players. Anyway, so then there's those equal players, I won't talk about them because that's just you playing at your best. It's the lower players that are the ones that I think a lot of people have issues sometimes, and I did too, about learning how to play players that are weaker than you or players that are lower ranked than you. And what I learned is that you need to show the lower players respect, and you show them respect by beating the crap out of them, and by pummeling them, giving them that ass kicking. You show them the respect by playing. You make sure you play your absolute best. Like a lot of us go into a match against the lower players. Lower player, I'll be able to clean up, no problem. That's the wrong mindset, because now you're not playing at your best. You're thinking about, oh, I don't need to play as good even to beat this guy, which is the wrong mindset. If you focus yourself, you make sure that you don't take any risks. You pound him. You show him what parts of his game he needs to work on, and hopefully he'll thank you for it. He might feel a little bit bad about getting pummeled or whatever. Like if you beat him 5-1, 5-1, 5-0, it's like you showed him the respect that I don't know about they deserve, but that's just the way I took it. Whenever I played a lower player, I just made sure I tried to beat him as hard as I could and not left anything to risk. Didn't take any stupid shots, didn't take any liberties. And I just tried to pummel them as best as I could. And then I finally started to be more consistent when I played lower players, and that allows you to not get those upsets happen in those brackets. Yeah, so basically, to sum up, the game-wise, for me, when I had a game plan and I was carrying out that game plan, and I allowed the coach to step in at the right times, that's when all the negative thoughts and choking went away, because my mind was busy. I was busy following the game plan. I was busy as a player, just executing the game plan without doubt, without thought, just freedom, and enjoyed playing. But the coach had the job when it was his turn to actually make those adjustments and make those calls as to what it is we should do now. So I think if you can find whatever it is that you do in your game, that how you go through your game plan, now you go through executing it, as you can keep your mind busy and focused on what it is you'll do. And if you do practice effectively, then it should all just come out like it can to you, the best of your ability. You might not be at that Pro Master ability level yet, but you'll be able to play at your best level. So then as you continue to grow, you'll always be able to play at your best level, and you'll build a habit of playing at your best, which is what you want to do. You want to play every match the same. Often people think, you hear things like, oh, big game, hey? Oh, big match against, oh, it's a winner's bracket match, big game, hey? It's like, no, every match is the same. If you want to have, and you approach every match the same, and you play every match like it's the most important match of your life. It's not that desperate, but it's that kind of mentality. It's like there's no special match, there's no lower match. Every match is the same, everything is consistent. You have the same routines, the same outlook, the same response. Everything is the same. So you build that habit, that routine, so that everything is the same. There is no ups and downs. There is no, oh, I gotta get up for this match. Oh, why is this guy beating me? Come on, man, let's go. Like all that kind of stuff never resonated with me. It was if you played every match the same at your highest, most focused potential, that's where you become consistently great or good, and you'll just find you'll be more consistent. You won't have those ups and downs, and you won't have those negatives or positives. The positives are great, but the negatives are more damaging, I think. So if you just remain consistent, you'll win more matches than you would have, because you'll be able to handle the ups and downs of a match. Slop goes in, he gets on a run. Can you handle that pressure when you're down? It's a game, a best of 5, and you're down 2-0, and it's like 3-2 for him. And it's like, if you're like, oh, I'm down, I'm out. Yeah, you're going to be down and out. If you're playing the same consistently and making adjustments, it's your turn to make adjustments, your turn to get in there. You can then come back, keep playing, make the appropriate adjustments, and then just play consistently throughout, and you'll come back. I've come back so many times on players, just because sometimes it takes a little bit of time to find their weaknesses, find their strengths, and then discover them, and then figure out how to actually take advantage of that. That sometimes takes time, but once you do, now you've made the adjustments, you know what to do, you're executing that game plan, and now it's up to them to make the adjustments, which invariably a lot of players are not able to, especially when you're coming back on them, because now they're mentally thinking, oh my, I had this guy, oh, I can't believe he's going to come back. Like their mind's now in the wrong place, where you're just like focused, game plan, adjust, figure it out, puzzle, react. Like it's just common. It sounds very boring almost, but it's not. It's actually quite intriguing. It's quite all-encompassing when you get, like, I've come back from tournaments and I've just been exhausted mentally. because of having to keep my mind focused and through things. Like physically it's a little bit exhausting, but mentally it's more so when you're in those right zones. And nothing, as you can tell probably with listening to this, nothing really came naturally for me. These are all techniques I had to learn and add and practice. These are the techniques I used, but you can definitely come up with your own, and hopefully they work out for you.